Hi everyone, let me know if you can hear me now. I think there was some issue with the mic. Hi, good evening, good evening. I see 334 students. That's huge. Okay, very quickly, just let me know in the chat if you guys are able to hear me. Let me also confirm from my end. Okay. Great, great. Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to the Postman API Fundamentals program. And we have quite a few exciting announcements to make in this particular program. First of all, let me just see how many people are tuning in for this session. Okay, now we have 272 people and 289. That's great. More are joining. Let me just quickly switch my screen to the live stream window so I can also see your chats. Just pause this and just go into the live chat mode. I hope there's some lag. Okay. Shall we get swags? Yes, you're going to get the swags, and that is why I'm here to explain you the whole program before we start with the learning process, right? So first of all, as always, I'm Prasad. I'm one of the core team members here at Let's Upgrade, and I wish you all the best and I welcome you to the Postman Student Expert program. Okay. So before we move on and start learning, here's three things that you have to do as always. Register for the program. Of course, I believe you have registered on the Let's Upgrade website, but since it's an official partnership program with Postman API, you will guys will have to also register on the Postman website as a student, so that you get an official certificate from Postman. You also get a badge that officially recognizes you as a student expert, and also you get premium goodies from Postman. Now, of course, those are limited and only a few people will win, but of course, you can always participate, right? So I'm just here to explain the whole process. So first of all, very quickly, we will move into the description to get the links that we require. And as always, we have a very important link that is there called as the documentation, right? So I am going to require you, all of you students, to copy paste this, bookmark this, and save it wherever you can for this particular program. And I'm just going to open this. And let's quickly go through this before I invite Ali. Mustufa is going to be our you can say guide and expert and instructor for this program, so that we can start learning, right? So as I mentioned, the program is going to run for 2 days, today and tomorrow, right? Almost 1.5 or 2 hours of session, right? The document for the link is given here. This is the QR. Now all the day links like today and tomorrow day links are also available here in this doc in case you want to refer later. Now this is where I want you guys to focus, right? If you want to earn the swags of Postman and get a completion certificate, and also that we have added in this part is a Postman premium for 6 months, right? You have to enroll via this link. This particular link that is here, if you go directly on the website of Postman and enroll, you will not be eligible for the swags or the Postman premium or any of the goodies that come, because this is where we recognize you as a Let's Upgrade student who is doing this program as part of the partnership, right? So first of all, as mentioned, you have to go and register as a student in the Postman Academy. You can scan the QR here directly and register, or you can come down here and follow. And this is the link. I am going to copy paste this link in the description, and also let me just do one thing. What I'm going to do is basically keep posting this link here so that you guys can yeah, so for the people who are not able to copy, I've just put the link in the description. Okay, so now going back to the document. Now once you sign up in the Postman Academy, there's the whole video is going to explain you how it's basically a walkthrough, so to help you get the certification faster. In case you have any queries during the program, of course Ali would solve those, but in case if there are any programmatical issues or code solutions which are not working for you and where you get stuck, you can join the Postman official Discord server. There is a channel. This is the link to the channel, which is a student expert help with Let's Upgrade partnership that you can join. And all you have to do is tag at the rate Let's Upgrade staff, so that we get to know that you are facing some issues, and we will be there. Postman developer advocates will be there. Other Postman student leaders will be there to help you get that certification faster, right? And all the steps again are mentioned here in the steps to enroll in Postman. Now again, as always, we keep the screenshots also, so you get a good help, right? So this is where you can come back and get all the processes in place. Now again, what do you guys get after this program? Okay, what do you get after this program is you have to attend the lectures daily and participate in social media challenge to get swag. This is the badge that you will get from Postman. Again, this is one of the certificates that you will be getting. This certificate is issued by Postman, and this is how it looks like, right? And one important thing, right, we run challenges, of course, since it's day one today. Social media challenge day one would be running today. More about it will be explained by Ali in the session. The winners of those will be announced in tomorrow's session. Now, a very important thing, let me just move this to the down, since it's going to be after the last day, right? Okay, messed up, just give me a moment. Yeah, I'm going to refresh this page. Made a few changes in the layout. Well, I'm just going back to a chat as well. Okay, so now, of course, right, so then we have day two. You're going to have a student expert challenge. Again, more details on that by Ali. Now, one important thing, if you see, right, the first 100 people to complete this certification and fill the student expert challenge form, right, this means that you have officially completed the Postman certification. The first 100 people to complete that thing will be informed by the Let's Upgrade team, and those particular students are going to get Postman Education X Let's Upgrade partnership team access, where you have all the premium features of Postman totally available for free, and that access is going to be with 6 months for you, right? And then soon we'll also add videos where you can learn at your own speed and get the certification. Again, then you have some help related things and resources. Now this is our previous, if you can go and scroll down, you are going to see some previous swag winners and the things that they have earned, right? So you can go and see their post as well, right? So this is all about what I was here. Social media challenge, yes, after doing social media challenge also you will get swag. So more about that will be explained by Ali again in the whole session, right? Do not worry, the better, so it is all about what you write after, what you have learned after this program and what you share. So you can see a few posts here for the reference and what people are getting as swag kits after the program is over, right? So this is all about what I wanted to share. So let me just go back and go into OBS and just get back here. Any doubts? Any doubts still about the Postman certificate? It's a postman who is in the post office. No, Icon, this is not a postman who is in the post office. Postman is a API platform, a leading API platform. So there are not much terms to follow. It is very easy. Once you start learning, you will find that it is a piece of cake for you guys, right? So with that, I'll end my talk here and I'll invite Ali to come here and start teaching you guys. Okay, so yeah, over to you, Ali. Let me just mute my mic.
Hello, and thank you, Let's Upgrade team, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Ali Mustafa, and I hope you are able to hear me. Give me a hi in the chat if you can hear me. I'm able to see the chat right here, so I'll be, dangling around these two devices. So yeah, give me a hi and tell me where you're from before we get started with the workshop. Let me see where you folks are joining me from. Oh yes, you can mention the city name, or you can go ahead. If you are outside India, you can mention, your country name as well. I hope most of our audience is from India, but yeah, if you are outside, if you're from outside India, mention your country. That's good. Oh yeah, I'm also from Mumbai. Oh, that's good. Gujarat, amazing. Rajasthan, that's good. Jaipur, okay. Delhi, yeah, very common. I see a lot of people from Delhi. By the way, if you are in Mumbai, yeah, you can hit me up because I also live here and I participate in a lot of events. So yeah, if I'm near your city, sometimes you can definitely meet me in real life as well. But yeah, oh, we are having people from all across the country and also from other parts as well. That is so amazing. So yeah, once again, hello everyone. I hope you're doing good and you are energized for this API session, and you're eager to learn about what are APIs and how to get started. Don't worry, if you are newbie, that this session is absolutely for anyone and everyone who is getting to know about APIs, and you get a really cool certification from Postman. So without making further delay, let me go ahead and start sharing my screen and let's get started. So let me go ahead and quickly share my screen with you folks. There you go. I hope you're able to see my screen. If not, please mention in the chat, but as I've just tested this out, you should be able to see the screen. So yeah, we are going to learn about API fundamentals today, and we all are going to get certified as well. So myself, Ali, and I work as a senior developer advocate here at Postman. Um, we are going to start with some small introduction about APIs, go a little deeper about what is Postman, and then dive into, in nitty-gritty of how to make an API call, how to see if your request was successful or not, and, a little Q&A, and then the end of the call. Remember to come back tomorrow as well, because today we are going to cover half the workshop and tomorrow we are going to cover half the workshop. This is approximately 90% hands-on, and then we are going to do a little of theory, obviously. We'll also do a lot of quizzes in between. So yeah, that would be super fun. About myself, I've been working at Postman from 2020. I've almost completed 4 years at Postman. And yeah, I do a lot of talking, as you will know that by the end of the session. But I also have a TEDx talk. If you ever feel demotivated or want to hear a technical TED talk, feel free to search my name and add TEDx in front of it, and you will find the link to it. But yeah, I love talking and I love teaching about APIs and other technologies. This is me talking to a lot of people in person. Definitely that selfie video is, a little while back, but yeah, I still love talking and clicking photos. Okay. So yeah, to spice things up today, we are going to run a small challenge on social media where you could earn some really cool swags. What you gotta do is you have to click a photo, as we are, or screenshot as we are going about and explaining about APIs, and then tag us and tell us what you're learning from today. I remember the session is going to go on till tomorrow, so don't worry, you don't have to do it right now. But then, the whole idea of the session is to not just make sure you're learning, but also, you summarize that and make sure others are also learning, right? So yeah, like use these hashtags and tags and participate in the challenge. We'll also share about how to, kind of submit your entry, and so on and so forth, in later in the session. What are you getting? You're getting certified and you're getting a certificate and a digital badge, which you could share on LinkedIn. So yeah, this is how the certificate is going to look like, and this is how your badge is going to look like. You will get both of these. So yeah, you can choose to add it on LinkedIn on your resume. This is definitely, in the stuff market. It is an add-on to already whatever skills you know. Adding an API skill is definitely plus one. I'll talk about more about how APIs are important and why APIs. But yeah, having a certification for free is something which is amazing. Oh yeah, everything is absolutely free. I see someone mentioned, is it paid? No, it's not paid. It's free. So yeah, the only condition is that you have to finish the certification with me, right? We are gonna do that. Okay. So what are APIs? Imagine that you go to a restaurant. What is the first thing you're going to do? Mm, yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me in the chat. And I am going to wait and look here from time to time to see that if you are answering in the chat or not. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's see. Okay, you're going to ask for a menu. That's good. You're going to grab a seat. Obviously, what you're going to do is you're going to go and grab a seat. That's the best thing. And then what happens? You grab a seat. What happens next? Yes. Feel free to type it in. Yeah. The chef comes to you with the menu. No. Yes. The chef brings you, what he's cooking, the special dishes. Yeah. No. Not really, right? No. Before chef, you meet another person, which is the middleman, which is the waiter. So the waiter comes to you with a menu, and then you get to decide what you want to eat from the menu, right? Imagine going to McDonald's and asking for a vada pav, or going to McDonald's and asking for a biryani. You're not going to get a biryani in McDonald's because it's not part of their menu. So you get a menu, you go ahead and then you select what you want, and then you tell the waiter, and then the waiter goes and tells the chef. Um, why do we need to have this waiter in between? Because there can be more than one chef, in the kitchen. So you don't know which chef to approach. You cannot go to the kitchen because then, you will bring the dirt with you into the kitchen, obviously. So we cannot expose the kitchen to everyone out there, right? So the waiters who are trained for it, they know their way around kitchen, and that's why they interact with the chef, and you interact with the waiter. Now here, waiter is nothing but an API. Okay, let me get a little technical. So imagine like the restaurant example, but in a digital way. So who are you? You are a client here, and you are sending a request for getting a biryani. And then the API, which is the waiter, gets your request and then goes to the server, which is the kitchen here in our case. And then there are multiple chefs who might be knowing how to cook a biryani, or who might know how to create juice, or who might do different things. So the waiter goes and then asks the chef to prepare it, and then the chef prepares it and hands it over to the waiter, and then the waiter brings it back as a response to you, who are a client. And in this whole, like interaction, you don't know how the biryani, you obviously don't know how the biryani is cooked, because it is all abstracted behind the scenes, and you're just interacting with the waiter. So you don't really know if they are, giving you, a freshly good biryani, or they are giving you something which is already there, obviously. So yeah, everything is abstracted from you. So that's how APIs work in real world. Now you might be thinking, okay, Ali, great example, but how does it apply in real world? There's an API for literally everything and everything out there. So when we talk about APIs, what is the full form of it? In very simple definition terms, application programming interfaces. Now, I like to emphasize on the word interfaces because an interface can be anything. It can be a mobile phone, it can be a laptop, it can be, your watch, it can be a kiosk machine at an airport, anything. And you're interacting with it, and then that machine is interacting with the server, which is then fetching all the details for you, right? So yeah, that's how simple it is to work with an API. Now you'll be like, okay, why can't I directly kind of go ahead and talk to the server? Why do I need to kind of work with an API? Very simple. Imagine all these AI models which are available right there by Google, by OpenAI. Um, if they share the weights with you, like the model itself with you, then you will have a hard time to train that model, obviously, or else host it on your servers. And it will take a lot of time for you to kind of get to step one, with doing a lot of things. And that also makes, these companies not be able to retain the IP of it, right? So what they do, they create an API for you. Now you can use, the same model, the same underlying model, their infrastructure to query and do whatever you want to do and integrate it in your own app without actually managing the whole infra behind the scenes or knowing even what the code is. You just make an API call, you get a response, you're happy with it. So yeah, that's how APIs make it easy. There's an API for literally everything out there. There's a cat API. If you don't love cats, there's a dog API. If you don't love cats and dogs, I'm personally a crocodile lover because I've trained my Instagram, to show me crocodile videos, funny videos about crocodiles, doing funky things. Not the ones who bite, obviously not. If you remember the yoing guy, I don't know if you do, but if you do, that's a funny one. So yeah, there is an API for literally everything out there. Spotify has multiple APIs which you can use. Twitter, now X, has multiple APIs which you can use to fetch, the historic tweets, do analysis on top of them, and do, a lot of things. And obviously Google. We all use Google APIs, day in and day out. Have you ever used any rideshare app like Uber? In India, we use Ola a lot, right? And then there's a lot more like InDrive and so on and so forth, right? Um, so if you look at that, the Uber basically uses Google Maps to kind of show you the fare estimation. So it gives you, from point A to point B, it calculates a kilometer using the Maps API. It also shows you that Google Maps, when your ride is arriving, when you're en route on the way, and you can share the live location with your near and dear ones. And that also kind of, displays on the Google Map itself. So you can see Google Maps, we use it for our directions, but then companies like Uber and Ola use it to kind of make their services more easy for people, who are already using these services. So yeah, that's a very simple example. Okay. Now, if you have ever kind of, like if when you were a child, if you ever played with Lego bricks, these are very fun things, small Lego bricks. You could actually attach them together and make something, make literally anything what you want. And then they are very fun because you could, kind of, if you want to build a building, you could build a building and then remake it to build a car, remake it to build, a train, remake it to build a plane. The only limit is your imagination, right? And these are simple, Lego bricks. And when we talk about APIs, I hope you have played with it. Tell me in the chat, yes, no? Because I've played with a lot of it, and the favorite part as I'm grown up right now is not to play with it, but then see kids playing with it, and then go and destroy it. Uh, Amazing feels. Okay. Yes, yes, you have played with it. Okay, few people say yes. That's good. Okay. So yeah, you play with it and then you build whatever you want. But imagine that these individual bricks have individual functionalities. And then when you combine all these bricks together, you build something amazing. So let's say there's a brick which has wheels on it, so you can attach it and make it like, a car. And then there are different brakes which has a motor. There's a brake which has like like a structure and so on and so forth. So every brake comes with a functionality, and then you kind of combine them together to build modern day software. That's exactly, how softwares are built. You don't build everything from scratch, but what you do is you try to leverage existing things. Imagine Uber just going and saying, "Okay, I no longer need Google Maps. I want to build my own map." What they'll have to do, they'll have to go, place satellites, map the data, kind of have a whole company which is kind of doing that, right? So what they do instead is, instead of going and, kind of putting their own satellites, they use Google, who have, all this mapping done for them, and then it's ready to use. So that's a very simple example of how other companies can use your company's API and then enable people to benefit from it. Now you'll be like, okay, I get it. I get a bit everything about APS. But what is Postman? Postman is an API platform. So what you can do with Postman is you can not just kind of go ahead and test the APIs, but you could actually document the API, monitor the API, mock the API, test the API, design it, and do a lot more things. It provides you with an end-to-end solution to everything APIs. So yeah, that's the whole idea about Postman. Postman kind of came into existence because of this consistent problem of working with APIs. And then earlier, you technically, use call command. You still do now, but then if you are smart enough, you can still keep using call. But then a lot of times, yeah, you are smart individually, but then when you are working in a team, you cannot share these call files, and these things with your teammates. And then it becomes very difficult to collaborate. That's where Postman comes in and helps you out. So what does Postman do? Postman makes this whole API lifecycle very easy to work with. Not just that, makes it a very collaborative environment. So you can work with your colleagues, you can tag them, you can talk to them, everything within Postman. And then you have version control, you have a lot of features which you can leverage to work around with your APIs. So that's about Postman. You'd be like, okay, why should I learn about Postman? Because Postman is used by 98% of Fortune 500 companies. If you ever worked with, front end or back end, or APIs in general, you might have definitely heard about Postman. And that's why companies like PayPal, Philips, Kroger, they all use Postman to enhance their API workflow and to manage their APIs using the platform. So yeah, if you're still unsure about it, go ahead and do your research, and you will know that Postman is the industry standard tool when it comes to APIs. Super awesome. A little bit of more theory, and then we'll dive into practicals. So um, now we understand what's an API, why it's used, what's Postman, but then how to make our very first API call. Um, how do you go about it? Let's talk about request and responses. So, like we saw earlier in our case of digital restaurant, you were a client and then you were sending a request to the server. In our case, we were kind of sending the request to the chef. And here we were using the middleman as our waiter. And you could do that via something like this as a setup. So you have a client, and then you have a network. Probably the internet is your network, or you could have a local network as well. And then you are querying the server for something, and then the server is replying back. So we are going to understand this request pattern and then the response pattern. Okay, so how do you make a request? Very simple. You go ahead and then you kind of add three major component of a request. That is the method, and the address, and then the path. So let's understand much more in detail. So what's a method? So this is exactly how you will see in Postman, that you will see a method, you will see the URL, and you will see the send button. So what's a method? A method is an action verb. Now, what does that allow you to do? It allows you to do multiple things. For example, you can use get method to retrieve information, post method to send information, put or patch to update information, and then delete method to delete information. So yeah, let's see our example, like our Twitter challenge, which we are doing right now. um what if I have to go ahead and tweet something? Which method am I going to use? So I'm going to open twitter.com or x.com. I'm going to type my tweet and hit that send button. Which of these methods am I going to use? Mhm. Get? No, not really. I'm sending information, right? So which method? Let's see in the chat. Yeah, I'm gonna wait for a lot more people to answer there. Yes, yes. Okay. Yeah, post method, exactly, because we are sending information. Now let's say you posted that tweet and I want to see if you're a winner or not, check it out. So which method am I going to use? I'm going to retrieve your tweet. Yes, yes. Get method, absolutely right. And then let's say you paid for Twitter Blue, you're a rich person. So which method are you going to use to update your tweet? Yes, yes. Yeah, put or patch. So you can use either of them. I'll explain much more in detail about why put or patch, but yeah, put or patch. Okay. Now, if you're like me, ghetto, what I do is I delete the tweet and then I retweet it, doesn't hurt. So, delete method, right? When I'm deleting something from the server and then I'm just sending it back. So I'm going to post it again, right? So that's a very simple example of how methods are used. And then we come to the URL, right? So if you see the URL, the first part is the protocol itself, right? So it can be an HTTP protocol or HTTP S, or else it can be a WebSocket. So it will be WS and so on and so forth. So it can be multiple protocols. And then the host URL itself, what the server is. So this could be domain name, or it can be an IP address as well. So remember, it can be an IP address also, and then the path, which is where the resource is located. So a lot of times people confuse the path, and say, what is a path? Let me give you a live example. So let's say I go to google.com. So this is the homepage of google.com, right? You can see something like this. But yeah, I don't want to, let's say I want to go to Gmail. So in that case, what I could do is I could / Gmail, and then it goes right here. I could go to, again, I'll go to google.com / drive and see what happens. So if I go to drive, Google Drive opens. If I go, google.com and then / maps, let's see what happens. It goes to Google Maps. So you can see, every time I could kind of go ahead and I could add, something in front as a path, and then it will go to that particular path, right? So yeah, that's a simple example of how the path itself works. I hope you get it. Awesome. So once you send the request, what happens? You receive a response, and in response, you receive the status code, which tells you what happened with the request. So you might have, how many of you have heard about 404? Mhm. Tell me, what does 404 means? Very simple, right? No? Tell me, what does 404 means? Oh yes, I'll be waiting for some answers, but then I'll also show you. So let me go to google.com. And then this time I'm going to go to / and I'm going to say Ali. What did I encounter? Encounter 404. Why? Because whatever I'm requesting is obviously not available on this server. So that's a 404. Okay. The 404 is my error. But then if I successfully run the request, then it will be 200. So there are multiple families, 200 families, 300 family, 400 family, and 500 family. So 100 is information, 200 is success. If your request was successfully executed, you will get 200. Okay, or else you'll get 200 family, which is 201, and so on and so forth. And then there's 300 family, and then there's 400 family, and then there's 500 family. So 400, 404, which basically means our error. We did the error, and then 500, which means the server is responsible. I'll explain it in much more easier way as we are doing practical. Yeah, here we are. So this is the practical link. So go ahead and open it up. And then you will come across here. We are spamming that link in the chat right now so that you all can see it. And this is basically, the document which we are going to use. So make sure you bookmark this so that you can use it again, because we are going to use it today and tomorrow for both the days. So go ahead and bookmark this so that you don't lose it. And then you can keep this link saved also so that you can come back to this document, if you want to, as we are preparing for day two. So yeah, we also have the live lecture links here of day one, day two, which you use to kind of join this session. You can also scan this QR code to open it on your mobile phone if you want to. So let's go ahead and first register into the program, and then from there we will get started with the practical. And this is where we are doing the practical, so I'll appreciate that if you're on the system, please do it with me. If you're not on the system, because it's a hands-on, completely hands-on workshop, I want you to be on system. If you're not, please, go search for a system, and don't worry, it will be this session is live on YouTube, meaning that it will be recorded. Yeah, it will be kept, recorded means it will be kept on YouTube, so you can come back and continue if you don't have a laptop. But I'll appreciate that you do it with me so that we all are on the very same page. By the way, I'm there in the chat, so in case you have any questions, feel free to mention it. I'll be answering it. And don't forget, our social media challenge is still going on. Okay. So let's go here and register into the Postman student program. So this is step number one. What we have to do is we have to register into the Postman student program. So let's go ahead and click on this particular link to register. As soon as you click on the link, it will open in a new tab. And then here we need to enter details. So let's go ahead and enter detail. So I'm going to enter details. So first name, last name. If you don't have a last name, you can use a dot and then email. So I'm going to use my email, which I've created especially for this session, postmanstudents @gmail.com. But feel free to use your personal email. Do not use your college email because then you'll get the certificate on that mail. And then you'll lose access to your college email right later on. So use your personal email so it's better. Select the country where you are living right now. So let's go ahead and select India. That's where I am. You feel free to select your country. Right now, I'm not enrolled in a university, but if you are, select yes. Because a lot of you are students, I'm going to select yes and show you how it is going to work. But if you're not a student, if you're a professional attending this session, don't worry at all. You can select no and move further. So what's your university? I studied from Mumbai University, so I'm gonna mention that. It goes okay. I'm not sure about the URL, so I'm gonna quickly Google it. There you go. I get the URL. Let me copy that. Oh, it is taking some time to load. Let me copy the link address. Oh, that's good. And then course I studied information technology. Already graduated, so I'm gonna say 22. Yeah. No, I graduated in 2020. The pandemic year. Okay. How did you learn about Postman student programs? You all learned up from workshops, so select workshop. Must be a valid year. Okay. 2022. Let's do 2022. And then this is the newsletter if you want to participate. We definitely send some amazing, news about our events and so on. So I'll select subscribe. And then I agree to Postman's privacy policy. This is the privacy policy which with which your data is governed. Please go ahead and give it a read if you want to. I'll say I'll agree. So yeah, I have filled in the details. Feel free to kind of go ahead and add your details here. I'll wait for it for a moment and then we'll hit submit. For people who are a working professional, you can select no and then add your organization details and then hit submit. Awesome. Yeah, once you're done, give me a thumbs up in the chat, folks. Give me a thumbs up. Yes, yes. So I'm gonna hit submit. So let me hit submit, and it will take me to the thank you page, which is good. But you tell me if you're done, and then we give me a thumbs up, and then we'll move further. Okay? Yeah. By the way, you could do a thumbs up, and that way I know that we are on the same page. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No. Okay. That's good. That's good. I see a lot of thumbs ups in the chat. Let me sip a water there then. Please do it quickly and then you'll see the thank you page. Oh, yes. That's amazing. A lot of you are done. Cool, cool. So now the next step is to, once you're registered, you need to click here, which is, mentioned right here. Click here to get started. or else you will also receive an email. So let me go ahead and check my, oh, oops, sorry. Let me go ahead and check my Gmail. And if you kind of go here, you will receive an email. Oh, I'm not received it yet. That's strange. But I should receive an email kind of mentioning this, that I'm registered into the system and I'm good to go. So let me go ahead and click here to get started. And basically, this is where I can kind of go ahead and sign in into the Postman Academy. Now, signing in into Postman Academy requires a Postman account. So if you don't have a Postman account yet, this is a very good time to sign up for Postman. But if you do have a Postman account, you can sign in using your username and password. Because I don't have a Postman account, because I don't know how. So I'm going to click here on create a free account. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my details of Postman students @gmail.com. My username is going to be Postman students. It should be unique, so make sure that it is a unique username. So I'm going to say Postman students, give it a number. What's my favorite number? My favorite number is single digit, let's say 4. So let's do 4. And then password. Okay, let me type a password. Okay. I want to receive this and I want to stay signed in because I'm gonna work here tomorrow as well, and then hit create. You can also sign up with Google. That is also pretty easy, but I wanted to show you the hard way, just in case, everyone is on the same page. So let's hit create account. I'm not gonna save the password here. Um, so yeah, let me do that. Oh, you can save the password by the way to try it later, but I'm not going to do that right now. So what's your name? My name is Ali Mustafa. What's your role? You can select your role from here. Whatever you're doing right now. If you're a student, you can select student persona as well, or else you can select whatever you are doing. So I'll select student because majority of you are student. So let's hit continue. And yeah, we need to check the verification. So let's come back here. Oh, we got this welcome to student program email, by the way. Let's activate the Postman account because that is required. So let's confirm the email. That is amazing. We are confirmed. So that's good. Let's go back to the academy and check for verification status. Perfect. We are verified. That's amazing. Oh, here we are. Okay, that's amazing. So yeah, we have already logged in into Academy, right? So yeah, simple step. You click here and then you go to Academy. You click on sign up because you don't have an account. If you do have a Postman account, you can go ahead and sign up. Sign in directly, and then you're good. Make sure the email IDs are same. If not, that is going to be a little problem. So here we need to select student programs. That is where we are doing the course, and this is the course which we are looking at. So Postman API Fundamental Student Expert, hit on that course. And then, I'm going to spam this link directly in the chat so that you folks can actually see it. So yeah, let me post this in the chat as well. But this is the course which we are doing right now. So on the right, you can see this is, our profile. We have signed up. Everything looks good. So once again, I'll repeat the step for people who are, coming a little later. We went to this Notion page, which was shared earlier, which is pinned in the chat, by the way. We went there. We are on the registration part. So we registered as a student. So we clicked here and it opened a new tab. We entered all our detail, as mentioned here. We selected our country and all that details, uh, added the university details, year of graduation, and then, all of that. And then hit submit. So once we hit submit, what do we see? We see a thank you page. And then from there, or from your email also, you can see this email. From your email also, you could kind of go and enroll in the academy. So that is also good. So yeah, once you're here, you kind of, I'll show you the navigation part once more. So what did we do after we cover here? We went to the student programs, and then from there, we went to the Postman API Fundamental Student Expert Workshop. Amazing. Okay. So now that we are here, let's dive it into here. Let's click start here. And then I'm going to complete this course with you. So yeah, don't worry about that. We are going to complete it. It says 0 of 1 completed. Don't worry. We are going to complete the whole course. So let's click on get started, and let's get started. Okay. So what are the things which we need to do right now? So the very first thing we need to do is click on the start button, and then follow along. As I'm following along, you follow along with me, together. So what is our learning objective? We want to learn what is APIs, why it is important for modern software development, how to use Postman, how to interact with a real world API, and then basically, unleash the power of APIs. We are also going to do a little role playing, not a typical one, but here you're going to act as a digital librarian. And what you're going to do is you're going to act like you're working in a library, and then you're going to manage the library API. So what are the things we do in the library? Mhm. We add a new book. Which method are we going to use for that? Mhm. Adding a book or sending information to the server. Mention in the chat, folks. Come on. Yes, yes. Post, exactly. Then we get all the books in the inventory. So get method. Then we update the book, once someone is coming to, taking that book home. And then we delete the book once the book is outdated, right? So yeah, that's the whole idea of being a digital librarian. Okay, let's go next. Before we continue, we have already registered as a student. You remember filling this form just like 10 minutes before? Don't worry if you don't remember. I'm also bad with memory. Okay. But we do remember it because we filled it right now. So we'll skip this and say next. That's good. Oh, we did talk about what is APIs. In very simple terms, it's a contract that allows one code to talk to other code. Oh, that's good. As you can see why APIs are important. And literally, okay, he'll be like, okay, I belong to, let's say, a non-CS field. Is it still required for me to learn about APIs? Absolutely, yes. So see, this is the state of the art report which we do every year, state of the API report which we do every year. And here you can see the different role types, like from full stack developers to product managers to DevOps engineers to VP of engineering to network engineers, to everyone literally uses APIs. So, you get the drill. APIs are very, very important for not just you, but for everyone or every role. And you can see it's not just like in the IT industry, it's not just in technology industry. Obviously, it's more there, but then it's also there in other industries as well, such as automotive, manufacturing, retail, education, healthcare, and so on and so forth. So let's go next. We already did this example, the client, the API, and then the server. Yeah, so you'll be like, okay, why can't I directly go to the chef? So imagine you go to a restaurant, you start shouting, I want biryani, what will happen? You will get biryani? No. Not really. You will definitely get kicked out for sure. Yes, that's gonna happen for sure. I'm not sure about you getting a biryani, but you're getting kicked out for sure. So yeah, that's why you wait for the waiter to come in and help you with the things, and and so on and so forth. So it makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So what are the different types of APIs? There are hardware level APIs, software level APIs, web APIs. For example, you're using Instagram. You all use Instagram a lot. Gen Z, I'm talking to. So a lot of you uses Instagram, right? So how do you use Instagram? Like you go to Instagram, you open the camera app, you click a photo, right? Now imagine you go to your Instagram app and open your camera, and then you suddenly lock your phone. And then once you reopen your phone, your facial recognition will not work. I'd be like, oh, why is that? Because your camera is already, your hardware is already talking to a software which is Instagram, and your OS is not able to catch that. And this is called as hardware level APIs. You know how your mobile hardware, we can access it, like your Instagram can access your microphone and can hear you. It can access your camera, and then you can click a photo and do things with it, and so on and so forth. So yeah, hardware level APIs. Then comes software library APIs, where you can, you're consuming code from another set of code, which is like, a library. Obviously, we are not writing everything from scratch. We are using multiple libraries for doing that. And then web APIs, which is where, let's say, considering the Instagram example itself, what you're doing is you're going ahead and, you are integrating GIFs from Giphy. So Instagram uses Giphy's API to integrate GIFs. It has the largest repository of GIFs, so makes sense, right? So yeah, web APIs. You're going to work with web APIs, by the way. And then there are multiple architectures, right? The REST, not the REST you're thinking about, right? Don't worry. It's only, almost seven. But yeah, we started at 6:30. It's almost 7:20, but don't worry, you'll get to rest. If you want rest, mention in the chat. But this is a different rest, okay? This is a representational state transfer, a kind of an architecture, about APIs. gRPC SOAP, not the SOAP which you used to path. Yeah, engineers don't path a lot, so yeah, don't worry. But that's also a protocol. So SOAP, REST, GraphQL, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's go next. It's quiz time. Are you excited about the quizzes? There are two questions. Let's see who gets it right. Always fun to see quizzes. Let me see if you're active still there in the chat. Yes, yes. Okay. I see a lot of people online. That's awesome. Should we start with the quiz? Yes, everyone is still here. Yeah. For people who are new right now and don't know where I am, don't worry. You can rewind and you can go back in time. You can see the past. Yeah, on the video. So you can go back and you can see the registration process. If not, you can also see the steps to enroll in Postman, this particular para. And you can follow along the steps there, and you will be able to, come where I am today. So yeah, you can come here and we can all be together. Okay, so let's start with this quiz. I see good response. What is an API? Pick the best answer from one of the choices below. Tell me ABCD, folks. Come on, be quick. I don't delay it. Okay. A file format for images, Apple's new iPhone programming language. Okay. A contract that allows code to talk to other code, a unit used for storage measurement. Tell me which one, A, B, C, or D. Mhm. I'm looking at the chat. Let's see. Oh, a lot of you say C. Yes. Okay. Let me select C. Let's go next. What are some of the different APIs? Okay. REST APIs, GraphQL, gRPC, electric sockets. I did talk about some of these, right? If you remember. Yes. Which one should I select? I'll select REST. Uh-huh. Tell me ABCD. Okay, someone says AB, okay. ABC, yeah, that's good. ABC, yes. Electric sockets, yeah, I don't think so. It's a type of API, so let me hit submit. Yay, we got 100 on 100. How awesome that is. Yeah, it's super awesome, right? Let me give you all, a confetti. Yay. Okay. Um, yeah, it's like COVID times. We all pass with 100%. Don't tell anyone. Okay. So by the way, these are not graded. You can actually see the answers. But yeah, these are, for just kind of keeping you entertained in between, and also kind of revisiting your knowledge so that you are good as we are moving into the next module. So don't worry, these are not graded. You can come back and reattempt as many times as you want. So yeah, you can do that. So let's go to next. Okay, I hope you all are also, you're with me with 100% marks. Okay, so Postman, I already talked about Postman. Postman is an API platform, and not just an API platform, a collaborative API platform where collaboration is in the center of things you're doing with APIs. Awesome. So you could do a lot of things with Postman. We already talked about it. So let's go next. By the way, do you love reading graphic novels? I did, The only reason I was in library in school was to read graphic novels. Um, you know all of these crazy ones which were available. I'm the 90s kid, so we had fun times in our school. I guess a lot of you are also 90s or 2000 kids, but yeah, fun times. Okay. So if you are into those things, definitely go ahead and check out our API first novel. It's an amazing novel, and if you meet me someday in real life, I can hand over to you a hard copy of this. It's really adorable. But to summarize, what we are talking there is about API first world. So what's an API first world? We think, or our vision for API first world is where 100 million developers are connected through APIs. And then APIs are treated as, the center stage. So here APIs are considered as number one priorities. APIs are easily consumable. APIs are easily discoverable. So that's our vision for building an API first world. So let's go next. Okay. By the way, you all have already signed up for Postman as of now, so you don't need to do this step. You're good. You don't need to kind of sign up again on Postman because we already did. But you might want to install Postman agent in case sometimes you get errors, so you might want to install that. It's a very small thing, so you could go ahead and install the agent. But I still recommend we will be using browsers, so you don't need to install anything. So let's go ahead and start with creating a workspace. That's going to be our number one step. By the way, once you go here, you can see, this is my workspace, which is where everything is kind of there. But we are going to go ahead and create another workspace and walk around with our account. Don't worry, we are going to do everything. Let me close this Gmail tab so it's easier. Yeah, there we are. It's time for quiz number two. That was quick, quick, quick. Okay, only one question. Let's go. Postman has a vision for API first world. In the API first world, APIs are considered as number one priority. APIs will make you famous on TikTok. APIs are easily consumable. APIs stand for Application Postman Interface. APIs are easily discoverable. Mhm. Which one do you think is right? Yes, yes, A, B, C, D, E. Tell me. Obviously, A, C, and E. Yes, that's the right answer. Let's hit submit and see. Yay, we scored 100 and 100 again. Click on show answers and you can see these are the right answers. But don't you think API will make me famous on TikTok? Like if I had a TikTok account, No? Yeah, not on TikTok because, TikTok is banned in India, but definitely on Instagram Reels, I can get famous there with the kind of humor I have. Yes. Yeah, that's a lot of self-praising, but I can't help it. Okay. So that's good. Let's hide the answers and move on to the next module. So let's go ahead and create our very first API request. We are going to do CRUD. I hope you know about CRUD operation. Can someone tell me in chat what this CRUD means? Mm-hmm. CRUD means create, read, update, delete. Yes, very good. CRUD. Okay. So remember your role. We are still role playing and you are a digital librarian, right? So yeah, don't forget about it. Don't forget about it yet. Um, So let's go ahead and create a workspace. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and create a blank workspace and we need to name it Postman API Fundamental Student Expert. So let's go ahead and do that. And we are going to create the visibility as personal. So let's come here. Let's go to workspaces and here click on create workspace. I do want to use the dark mode, but then, it's better to use the light mode for everyone so that you're able to see it properly. So I'm gonna switch there. Let me go ahead and switch it to the light mode. With a lot of light. Okay, no problem. I can take these light for you folks. Okay. Let's go to the workspace and let's go to create workspace. So here in the menu, you can see, workspaces. By the way, this URL, if you don't know, you can just go to postman.com. And yeah, you will get this where we are right now. Uh, I did it turn back to dark mode, buddy. Let me change it. Okay, let's do manual and light. Okay, should be fine. So let's go ahead and create a workspace. We're going to select blank workspace like we saw here. We need to select blank workspace and then we need to add this name, here. Okay, so let's go here, select next, and then add the name of the workspace. Here you can see we have, multiple options here. We need to upgrade plans for few ones. Don't worry about it. Because Postman is free for up to 3 people in a team. So you could kind of accomplish a lot of things with that. So we are only one using it right now, so that's not a problem. So you can see only me. So we are going to use personal and hit create. Okay. So that's good. Now that the workspace is created. Now, why do we create workspace? The whole idea is that the workspaces help us to organize things. So let's add a quick description to the workspace and say, learning about APIs. So that way, we know what we are doing right here. Okay. So now that this is done, let's go ahead and, oh, this is success. That's good. Let's hit next. Now that we have created a workspace, so what is a workspace again? To kind of show you, this is treat this like a root folder within which you can have multiple collections, you can have environments, you can also see the history. Yeah, clear it if you're using some dirty APIs. But you'll see all the API requests which you're going to make, collections, and then you can enable more things like monitors, flows, and so on and so forth. So let me go back. Let me close this. Let me go to collections and let's create a new collection. What is a collection? Collection is like a folder which will contain all your requests together. And for us, we are a librarian, so we need to kind of collect all these, requests which we're going to create so that other librarians can use it. And we are going to name it Postman Library APS V2. So let's copy this. Let's come back here on the left hand side, we need to create a collection. Now, for people who missed creating the workspace, again, I'm going to show you how, just repeating that step again. So we go to workspaces, we go to create a workspace, select the blank option, click on next, add the workspace name. The name is available right here. We just copy paste it, select personal and hit create. We have already created, so you can see right here. So we'll go there. And now it's step number 2, which is creating a collection. So let's go here. You can use this plus sign, by the way, to create a collection, or you could also use this new button. I'm going to use this plus sign in collection tab. So click here plus, you can click on blank collection and then name it. So our name is Postman Library API V2. Perfect. What does this collection do? You know, all about library APIs. So we give it a little description as well. You don't have to, but it's better if we do. Awesome. So we have created the collection as well. Again, for people who missed it, you click on this plus sign and then click on blank collection and then add the name of the collection. Where do you get the name? It is right here. By the way, I've also added a video here just in case, all the other lessons will also have videos soon. So in case, you are going to follow along individually, you can do so as well. Awesome. Let's go next. Now that we have done this part, we need to go ahead and create our very first request. So we need to get all the books in the database. So which method are we going to use? Yes, yes. We are going to use get method. So let's go ahead and make our very first book, um, make our very first request. So you can click on this arrow, and then it will show you this blue color, add a new request, or else you can hover over the collection name on these three dots and click on add request as well. So let's click on add request and name it get books. Okay. Now you can see the method which we kind of talked about. We talked about these small or these essential methods, and you can obviously type a new method. Postman supports all the methods which are available, so you can type whatever methods which you want to use. And then we need to add the URL. So let's go ahead and copy this URL. Do not copy the get, just copy the URL, right? Because we have selected the get there. So let's go here and paste the URL. Make sure you don't copy the space. If you copy the space, it will look like this and it is not good. So make sure you don't copy the space. You just copy the URL, hit save and hit send. As soon as you click on the send button, it will send the request and you will see the response below. So you can see Postman UI is simply divided into simple three parts. The left part is where you can see the collections and the request and all of the details. The top part is where you cook the request. So basically you add methods, you add authorization, other details, URL and hit send button. And then the third part is where you will see the response itself. So the body, the header is a return status code. What does 200 means? By the way, you don't need to remember it always. You can always check out Postman and it will tell you 200. Okay. It basically means that your request was successful. But if it was any other error, it will actually tell you what the error is, right? So let me zoom out a little bit and you can see that we received around 143 bytes of, KB of data, which is good. And we got all these books which are basically available in the library, right? So that is awesome. That is good. We were able to do our very first request. Make sure that you save this from time to time, because if you're not saving your request, later on we need to test this. So like a true API learner, we are going to actually make an API call to test our collection. So make sure you're saving all the requests. So use Control S or just use the save button from time to time. Perfecto. I hope everyone is doing this. If yes, give me a thumbs up in the chat, folks. Come on, be quick. Yes, yes. Give me a thumbs up in the chat. By the way, you can read more things here like response code. So you can see 200 code, which is success family, 300 redirection family, 400 client error, and 500 server error. These are very simple code, which you can learn, but you don't have to. It's absolutely fine. You can also refer to it. Now, I have a task for you. Tell me what does 418 status code means? Homework for you. You can Google or you can use ChatGPT or um, Google Gemini Pro or any other chatbot which you want to use. Yes. Tell me 418. What does it mean? Okay, I'm not gonna reveal it. But it definitely is fun. Okay, so let's go next. Yeah, it means I'm a teapot. Tomorrow I'm gonna wear that t-shirt for you folks. Don't worry. Okay. I've custom printed it for in-person interaction events. Okay. By the way, you will win swags like these if you participate in the social media challenge, which is just below here. So you can see there's a certificate which you're gonna earn. You can also connect with me, via these details. But the most important thing at the social media challenge, which is ending tomorrow at 3 p.m. So make sure you're participating and you are tagging us. And we have also added a short link here, which you can actually click and, it will give you the template. By the way, we are giving away swags. So make sure that you are submitting your entry on the form. If you're not, then that is going to be a little problematic because we don't receive your entry. So how can we give you and reach out to you for the pricing, right? So ensure that you are doing that and you're submitting the form as well. Back to our academy. Oops, where were we? Oh, sorry, back to our academy. Request response pattern. We did learn about this, so we are going to go directly to the quiz. Awesome. Two questions again. Let's go and start with question number one. You are given three blocks of text. Each block is part of a request URL. Which of the answer choices below these parts in correct order? Give me the answer. Please research about it a little bit. Till then, I'll have a sip of water. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A, B, C, D. So this is protocol which we know. So protocol. A and C is eliminated. What is this? This is the host, right? And then this is the path. So the last one, D is the right answer. Perfect for people who guessed it right. Given is a table of response code status. Using only code ranges given, choose the answer. Again, a difficult one. Let's see who is able to answer this. Very easy though. Like, difficult in terms of, the computation. 200 is success. So this. Then 300 is redirection. So this and this. 400 is what? What is 400? Is it our error or server error? Who can we blame 400 on? So see, an engineer's guide to status codes is 200. You are welcome, buddy. You're good. 300. There's another party happening in another room. I can shift you there if you want. So redirection. 400. Sorry, but no entry. You're not dressed well. 500. You're all good, but we don't have space. Server error, we don't have the capacity to, fulfill this request. So, yeah, it's our error, but yeah. So that's the easiest way to understand it. Okay, let me select the last one and hit submit quiz. Yeah, we got again 100%. That's really good. We are good. Let's go to next. Okay, don't worry, folks. I'm gonna end it almost on time. Let me try to be as on timely as possible so that tomorrow we can start at the right pace. Awesome. So variables. Now, what are variables in very simple terms? Variables store value. You give it a value, it will store that value for you for a particular amount of time. You can use variables in literally everywhere. And here we are going to use variables called as base URL to store, as our base variable so that we don't have to type it again and again. So let's go ahead and do that. Remember the U in URL is capital. So just remember that, right? While creating the variable. So how do we create that? It's very easy. Let me zoom this a little bit so that I can show you. So what you have to do is from M, you have to select till edge and then leave it. And then you will see a pop-up like this. Okay. Again, I'm showing you from M, you have to select and then you have to come till edge and then leave it. And then you will see set as variable option. Now, as you see this option, click on it and then you will see set as new variable. Click on that as well. Name the variable base U capital RL. And then the scope of this variable basically means where this variable will reside. For us, we are going to reside this variable in a collection. So click collection and then click on set variable. Now what that is going to do is going to set this variable for us, and you can see the current and the initial value is set. So next time we are accessing this variable, we don't have to actually type the URL. We can just use the variable instead. Now you'll be asking, okay, Ali, I made a mistake. I selected this forward arrow as well. Where can I edit it? Absolutely. Click on the name of the collection and it will open the overview. Within there, you can see the variables and the green dot on top of that. Click on it again. And then here you can see paste URL. So if you made mistake in the name, you can change it here. It will reflect for everywhere it is used. And then you can change the value as well if you did not add the correct value. Make sure the value is correct. Okay. Do not include the forward slash, only till com. Okay, so this looks good. Save the request before moving forward. Perfect. So we are going to talk about variables as well later on, so don't worry about it. But you can see we have added it right here. So you can actually see how the variables are basically, added. Awesome. Now let's go ahead and talk about query params. So here you can see when we asked for books, it just gave us like a lot of books, a lot of books. Now we don't want all of these books. We want to filter out the books. So that's where we are going to use query params. Now, what can we do with query params? We can actually, ask for a particular item, or we can tell the server what exactly we want. We can filter out more details than just asking for everything in return. Okay. So, a very simple example is how Google uses query params like Q to search about a particular thing. But yeah, you can literally, like do use query parameters, and every API provides you with query parameters so that you can utilize the API better. So in our case, also we have a query parameter for searching the book and doing a lot more things. By the way, if you want to know how all of these things work, you can go to the library API documentation. So you can open this in a new tab and you can actually see everything about this API right here. But yeah, we are lazy enough to read the documentation, so we're not going to read it. But you can definitely read it. Okay. Cool. So what we want to do is we want to filter out and only see fiction books. So we have some science kids of coming here who want to see, science fiction. So what we want to do is we want to get some fiction books. So let's go ahead and create a copy of our current, existing request and rename it to get fiction books. So this is a very good feature which I really love about Postman is that you can duplicate the current request and we don't have to type it again. So what you can do is you can go here, click on these three dots and click on duplicate. What that will do is make a copy of this request. Now, obviously, we don't want to keep the name like that. So we are going to say get fiction books. Awesome. Now what we gotta change is nothing much, but we gotta change or we gotta add this query params. So let's go there and add a key and then a corresponding value. So what is the key which we can add here? So if you come down, we can add John or genre as a key and then add whatever kind of filter we want. So let's go here and type John and then type the value which is fiction. As soon as you start typing, you can see in the URL it automatically adds this for us. So you can add multiple if you want, and you can do that and save it. Remember to save it and then send it. So as soon as we send it, you can see now the size is just 100 KB. Earlier it was around 140, right? Because we filter out all the books and we are now only able to see books which belong to the fiction genre. So yeah, that's how we can filter and tell the server that we don't want all the books, we want books from a specific category. But let's say, can you add multiple query params? Absolutely, yes. That's what we are going to learn next. So let's click on next and then add multiple query params. So here what we are going to do is we are going to add checked out as another parameter and then set it to false. So let's go ahead and add another param. So let's zoom this in and then add another param called as checked out. And then here, checked out basically means that if the book is available or not. So if I'm saying checked out equal to true, basically means that the book is already taken. Someone has already checked it out. If I say false, it means the book is available. So let's add false and then check how many books are actually available. Let's save this and let's send this. If you send this, you can see this is further reduced and we get more narrowed result. Let's say we make it true. What will happen then? Save it, send it. And here you can see we got only 2 KB return. Basically means not a lot of people, like some people have only checked out science fiction book. So that's why it only gives us 2 KB as the return value. But yeah, so that's exactly what we are doing right now. Amazing. Okay, so let's go next. By the way, you can use not just query params but also path params. So here we are using path variables. That's what we call them in Postman. But yeah, you can refer to them as path parameters as well. So what's a path variable? A path variable is nothing but a value without a key. So here you can see we are using key value pair. So if you see the URL, it's like key value pair right here. Let me show you the console. So if you click on the bottom left, you don't have to, but let me just show you. You can see that how the URL looks like. There's a key and then there's a corresponding value associated with the key, right? So you send this request and then you get that in response. Let me close the console and let me kind of go ahead and show you, how this actually works with a path param. So path param is usually used when you don't need to mention the key, you directly mention the value. A very good example is the GitHub API where you can add the repos and then if you just directly, give the username, you don't need to mention that username equal to username. You can just give the username and it will exactly work as intended. You can also see the difference between path and query, which is very simple. Let's go and use a path, param to get a specific book, only one book in return, right? So let's go ahead and add a new request. So what we are going to do is we are going to go here and again, let me zoom this for you. And what we are going to do is we are going to hover over this library collection, click on these three dots and click on add a request. Now, as soon as I click on that, I need to name it. So I'm going to say get book by ID. So I'm going to get the book by ID. Let's go ahead and add the base URL. So here, remember, the easiest way to do that is, we can directly start typing and you can see base URL, which is available right there, and then / works. Um, but we need to add a path param, and you can see we don't have any option of adding path param here in the UI because it is hidden. So if you want to add a path param, you can use this. So you can actually copy paste this, but I'm typing it for your better understanding. You can add a / add colon and then add ID. As soon as you do this, you will see that a path variable appears right here, and you can see the key and you can see the value. And the value here is going to be that individual book which we want to fetch. So here we have given one book which you can fetch actually. So you can see the value is right here. So let's copy this book value. So all of you and me, everyone is going to see the same book. Let's save this and then let's send this. So if I send this, you can see all of us will receive the same book with approximately the same data, which is 626 bytes. And if I go to console right now, you can see that there's no key value. Like ID is not the key. It's basically here to represent, but then when the data is sent, it is directly sending the ID, unlike the query param where the key and value is sent. So yeah, this is also very important as you're learning about APIs to learn that not everywhere you'll be using query params. Sometimes you'll be using, path variables as well. Awesome. So if you are good till here, give me a thumbs up in the chat. So we did three things, by the way. We did get books, simple get books, where we just ran the get request. We got a lot of data in return. Then we went to get fiction books. We added two more query params here. We saved it and then sent it again. And then the third one is where we added a path param, which is colon ID in the URL, which was a little different. And then we hit send, and then we got one book, which we all got. By the way, you could read these instructions as well. It's as simple as that, nothing crazy out here. Awesome. By the way, you can also see the console, as I mentioned about the console as well, which is on the bottom, to troubleshoot if anything goes wrong. Amazing. It's time for a quiz. Okay. Yeah, I know we are almost at the end of today's workshop. We are gonna end it at 8. It's already, we have already consumed a lot of time. So yeah, before we are going to do, two more things, and then we are going to end it. So we are going to try to do till halfway test. Don't worry, it's not that far. It looks far. Probably we'll finish that in 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. But yeah, we'll try to do it till halfway test today, and then from tomorrow we'll start from the second half. Okay. So let's start the quiz. Okay. What type of parameter colon ID is below? Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, yes. Tell me the answers, folks. This URL, query or path. It's a path param. Okay. A lot of you have answered A. I'll go by that. How many query parameters are present in this URL? Okay, that's an interesting question. There's a genre, and then there's search. Okay, how many are there? This is a little tricky. I'm gonna go with B. Yes. Let's hit next question. How many path parameters are there in this documented endpoint? Okay, this is also a little. Is it tricky or is it simple? Uh, it is simple. Okay, 0. Let's hit submit. Yay, I got 3 on 3 correct. Okay, that's amazing. So, here, the third one, a lot of you also mentioned 1, but remember there's no, we are using the main URL. So this is the main URL with the protocol. And then this is the path itself. It is not a path param. A path param would be something like forward slash in front of books, let's say ID, and that would become a path param. So that's why 0 is the right answer. Perfect. Let's go to next. Now, we have done 3 get requests, but that's not all we want. We also want post request. Okay, we want to send some data. So let's go ahead and send some data. But before sending some data, we need to learn about what is body. Not your body, but the body which we are going to send with the request. So when I'm tweeting about something, I need to kind of go ahead and kind of add a body, right? So that, the text, the images which I'm sending as a tweet, in your case, you're participating in the challenge, so you're sending, body with it. So that is something which is what we are going to add here, which is a body. So let's go ahead and kind of do that real quickly. In our case, we are going to use JSON, a very simple, JavaScript object notation, which is like a key value pair. I'll actually show you when we are doing that, but remember we are going to use a body. So what we need to do is we need to go ahead and add a request called as add book, and then from there we need to add the post request. Let's do that. So go here, click on these 3 dots and click on add request. And here name it add books. Now the method is going to be obviously post, and then the URL, we already, you can see all the history items that we have added. We are not going to use that. We'll just use paste URL and then forward slash books. That's about it. And then save this. Now, as soon as you save, on the left hand side, you'll see the icon gets updated, right? But remember to save everything, please, folks, and that's very important. Okay. Now, can I just send this request? Let me just send this. If I just send this, what will happen? Tell me the status code you will get. Yes, yes. Do you get a status code there? You will get a different code. Till now, you'll be getting 200, right? But which one are you getting? You're getting 400 exactly. So what does it say? It says bad request. What does it mean? It means body must be object. There's no body, man. Give us the body. Okay, let's give that person the body. Imagine non-CS people hearing us talking about body. Okay. Yeah. Let's click on raw. From drop down, click on JSON, and now we need to provide the right body. Now, where will we get this? How do I know what the body looks like? You don't, because we did not read the documentation. So we are gonna go here and rely on here. So you can see inside the body, we need to add a JSON object with title, author, genre, and year published. So we can use this. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this and paste it here. Now, do you want to tell me about your favorite book, probably, so that I can add it here? Mine is I've read a lot of book, not a lot of book. I'm not a good reader. But my favorite book is Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's a really good book, by the way. So let me add Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's written by Robert. So let me add that. I'm not sure about the year, so I'm gonna leave it. It is finance or self-help, you can say. But I guess more, yeah, self-help would be the right word, right? Yeah. This is good. You can feel free to add your favorite book, by the way, or you can leave it as it is as well. Save it, hit send, and tell me what the status code you're getting. You should get 200, right? No? Yes, but what are you getting? You're getting 401. What does it say? It says, you are not allowed. So, till the time you're not eating, you're not allowed to do a lot of things. Your parents are like, hey, you're a kid. Don't worry. APIs also have that kind of restriction, acting as a parent. Here it says invalid or missing credentials. Make sure you add API key to the request. Okay, now let's try to do that. So authorization is missing right now, and we need to add authorization. We need to add, we need to authenticate ourselves so that the API knows we can add the details. So let's go click on next and add an API key as an authorization. So what is authorization? Telling the API that, hey, I am the person you're trying to reach. Okay. So let's go ahead and add the header name as API key. So let's do that. Let's go here. And then here you can add, API key, by the way, and kind of add the header. Or else what you can also do is you don't necessarily need to add it here. You can also go to header and you can add API key right here and it will actually add as authorization. So both are basically the same thing, one and the same thing. And the value is a Postman rule. So let's go here and mention Postman rules. Save it. And now if I send it, what should be the status code? 200? Mm-hmm. 200 family for sure, but not 200 exactly. So we get what? We get 201. Do you get 201? Tell me. Yes, no? Make sure you're adding it in the header, okay? Yeah. You can add it here also, by the way. Same thing, one and the same thing. But yeah. Okay. Yes, yes, you all get 201. Yeah. If you're still not getting it, that's because you have not set the header. Make sure the key is API-key and the value is Postman rules. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. That's good. I see a lot of thumbs up. That's good. That's good. Amazing. Okay. Perfect. Cool. Let's go next. But imagine adding this header again and again in every request. That's going to be hectic, right? Absolutely hectic. So what you could do instead is you could delete this header, obviously. And then what we could do is we could add, use Postman auth helper and add it in the Postman auth, which means it will reflect everywhere. So what you could do is hover over this and click on this delete button, delete it, save this, and then click on the name of the collection on the left. So here go to Postman Library API v2, click on authorization, and here you can see from no auth type, we got to select API key, which is the third last one. Select API key, and now we can add the same API key and the value right here. So what was the API key? It was API dash key, and the value was Postman rules. Let's see if this is right. So let's go here. You went to the obviously the collection, API key, Postman rules. That's good. Save the changes, and you should be good. Okay. So let's save the changes. Click on save. Go to add box, and let's try if it is working or not. Let's hit send, and it is working. We got the book added. Amazing. By the way, if you want to really see if this book is added or not, you can copy this ID. You can copy this ID, the newly generated ID. Go back to get book by ID and check if your book was added or not, right? Save this and send it, and you can see it was added. So yeah, that is amazing. Perfect. So this looks really good. We have added this. Now the authorization is there for all the requests which we'll be doing next. But before that, it's time for another quiz. So let's go ahead and do this quiz. Two more questions. Yeah, this is okay. So let's do one thing. We'll end the session here, and then we'll start tomorrow with scripting, and then we'll update the book, and then claim the second batch, right? So till here, it would be good. Let's go ahead and do this, and then we'll wrap up today. Okay, let's start the quiz. What would happen if you don't include authorization to your API? Select all the answers that apply. Your computer can explode. Your API will have completely open endpoints that anyone can access publicly. Unauthorized people will be able to access the data discrepancy. Bots would be able to flood an API with thousands of calls per second and shut it down. What are the things which is gonna happen? Yes, yes, I'm reading the chat. That's good. Yeah, B, C, and D. Absolutely. Your computer is not going to explode. Your server might explode with, let's say if there are thousands of requests which the server is serving and getting heated up. To send this request in Postman, you're getting the error 401. What is the error here? The path change, there's not enough storage space in the server. There are no issues. The request requires authorization. 401 basically occurs when you need authorization. So that's going to be T. And let's submit the quiz. Perfect. We got 100 on 100. That's amazing. Click on next. Okay. So that is amazing. Till now, we have done till here. I guess it's good that we can do the rest of the part tomorrow. How are you folks feeling about this? Do you want to continue right now, or do you want to do it tomorrow? Because we want to complete the certification. So see, there's a lot of things obviously left. But yeah, we are right on time today, like almost a little later, but yeah, almost there. And we have done 4 of these requests. Super proud of you folks. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tomorrow. Okay, a lot of you are saying today, and a lot of you are saying tomorrow. Okay, we'll continue from here tomorrow. Yes, we'll continue from variables tomorrow. Remember, if you're participating in the challenge, on the Notion page here, you can see this is the social media challenge. You can use this template and make sure you're submitting your form. Okay. So make sure the form you are submitting will be announcing. I'll be announcing winner tomorrow before, in the session. Make sure it ends tomorrow at 3 p.m. So yeah, make sure you tweet about it. I'll be checking Twitter. I'm actually checking it right now. I'm a multitasker, so I'm actually going through all of your amazing tweets as well. Include an image so that others are also able to learn about APIs as you're learning about them. And from tomorrow, we'll start from here. So make sure you bookmark this for sure. I will open postman.com, so don't need to worry. We'll open academy.com, so no need to worry. Let's make sure before you go, save all the requests. Make sure everything is saved, and yeah, we'll continue from here tomorrow. Thank you so much, folks, for turning up. And I really hope you enjoyed the workshop as much as I did. And yeah, you also would win, amazing t-shirts like this one. If you participate in the social media challenge. So yeah, see your entries till tomorrow 3 p.m. And see you folks tomorrow for finishing the workshop and getting the certification. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning for today, and see you folks tomorrow. I'll hand it over to the Let's Upgrade team for a quick end note. And yeah, bye bye, folks.